Hey Kelsey, first happy birthday.
Thank you.
Kind of a weird week as far as an SEC play. Y'all had the long prep before your last game with the quote unquote bye, and then you have a game canceled. I guess what does that time look like for your team? Making the most use of just an abnormal schedule.
Yeah, and then the fact that they haven't had school either. So, it's been a very different in that aspect. But we've definitely, I think, made use of our time. We gave them a little an extra day for recovery, and then we've been back at it all week. I felt like Monday we went a little bit of a longer practice so we could work on some things we needed to work on. And really, I thought it was one of our better practices in a while, and we really did hone in and be able to fix some things. And then, obviously yesterday and today prepping for LSU before we leave. So we've made use of our time to the best of our ability and maximized all of our minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, speaking on LSU, just they have really good all around play. Just kind of what do y'all got to do to go and give yourselves a shot down there?
I think the one thing is we've got to be very aggressive. We have to be able to, be able to mix up our defenses to the best of our abilities. So we have some things we've been working on this week, in hopes that we have to contest shots. We're not going to be able to not get. They're going to get shots off, but we have to. We're trying to, not get beat in the paint and really make sure we're really contesting the 3-point line to the best of our ability. The phenomenal team. They can score at all three levels. They've got depth. They've got size. They've got some of the best guards in the league, and so definitely not an easy matchup, but nothing is easy in the SEC. So another opportunity for us to play 40 minutes against one of the best teams in the nation. And so, like I said, being aggressive defensively, I think we have to rebound really hard. That's one thing that we've been really trying to focus on in SEC play. And then I think we're gonna have to make some three balls. I mean, we're going to force the issue and try to get paint touches, but I think we're going to have to knock down some outside shots. And when we get transition opportunities, we have to take advantage of that because we're really good in transition. And so we really have to capitalize on those moments that we will get.
Yeah, you mentioned their guard play between Michaela Williams, Fool Wiley, Flage, and Richard. I mean, those are four very different guards, but they're all really good. How tough does that make prep whenever it's such different styles of guards, but they're all, capable of leading the team in scoring?
And they're all definitely capable. I think one of the biggest things because of their offense, we've got to make sure we're ready for that wing on ball, and we know that they want to pull that shot at the elbow. They can definitely shoot the three. We can't let them get loose in transition. I think that's one of the biggest things we've also been working on this week, because we can't just let them get loose in transition. So we've got to make sure at all times we're sprinting back and trying to protect the paint. Their posts are going to be trying to pin us inside all game long, so we're going to have to be physical and be thinking ahead and be playing ahead and be ready for that next moment. And we have to be very active, aware, and alert.
And then last one I'll ask before turning over to Dudley is just y'all have gotten off to some slower starts specifically on the road. How do y'all how big of an emphasis I guess is that just to kind of throw that first punch on the road?
Well, we definitely have to. I think we have to be physical from the tip. We have to hit hard and hit early and make sure that we're being extremely aggressive. I think it starts with also really trying to work the offense whenever they're already set up. If we're not in transition, we've got to make sure we shift the ball from side to side and try to utilize the shot clock to try to get a better shot. I think a lot of the times we take rush shots and we don't always take the best shot. We sometimes settle, and we definitely can't settle, and we can't go in and get down early, or we're not going to have a fighting chance.
Dudley.
Hey, Coach, also wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
You.
You've been successful at the stops you've been, and obviously the SEC is an unforgiving league. Talk to the keeping the team's head up and being able to get through a season as you are building.
I think the biggest thing is helping them understand like most things don't happen overnight. It takes a while to build. I always tell them it's comparing it to building a house. No one builds a house in a day. It takes time. It takes preparation and just staying the course. And trying to focus on the positives that we have had. Like there were a lot of positives we could take away from the Georgia game, and so focusing on those positives, but fixing the negatives. That's still imperative that we fix the mistakes that we have made. And so trying to, setting goals each and every day, getting better each and every practice. And I think the biggest thing is, like you said, staying the course and keeping their minds right in the midst of a long season.
I know obviously you can't talk about recruiting specifically, but you can generally. It seems like y'all are getting a really nice reception, both in state and out of state. Just talk about that part of, being able to build a program and bring in the talent that you need.
I think the biggest thing is getting the players that, obviously want to be Razorbacks, but the players that fit the system, that fit the style of play that we want to incorporate, that fit our culture. And I think when you get all the pieces in place, I've been able to do it at the other stops I've had, but like you said, it does take time. But getting the right pieces that fit this puzzle are going to be the most imperative. And I think we're on the right track. I think we're doing a really good job on the recruiting trail of bringing in the right players that we need for our team, for our program, for our culture, and for the system in which we're running within the dribble drive. And I think as we continue to bring in the right pieces to go with our incoming potential 2026 class, we're definitely on the right track, and I think we can make changes quickly.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ethan, anything else?
Yeah, just wanted to ask about the health of the team because I know that was something last game. Yeah.
We are healthy, so thank goodness. Praise Jesus. We are healthy this week, so there shouldn't be any masks on the bench. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, and then I did also want to ask. I mean, we get obviously in a year one like caught up talking about the building and stuff, but like for a player like Talea, for instance, who is choosing to spend her last year to be part of that. I guess what is the message to a player like her whenever you're going through a difficult stretch and it is her last year, but that she is obviously going out there and trying to give it her all.
Yeah, I think just, she understands. I think she stays the course, and she's going to bring it night in and night out and day in and day out. If you come to a practice, Talia is always going to go hard. Talia is always going to do what she can for the good of the team. And she's going to rise to the challenge. I mean, she understands like being able to play in the SEC and finish her career against some of the top teams in the nation. She's embracing those moments and embracing helping us become better each and every opportunity we get.
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, y'all.